Hello guys, Mr. Fluffy Pants here. Today guys, another video. Today guys, I'm reviewing WandaVision Season 1, Episode 8, which is called Previously On, which, like I predicted last week, is probably going to be a flashback episode, and, I was right, but, this episode's about, I think, like 35 minutes, I want to say, but... So, a little bit longer, but still not enough. So that means next week is either got to be like a whole hour and like 20 minutes or something like that, or like they just straight up lied to us. But I don't know. Next week's episode is definitely going to be very interesting. But let me just go and preface it though. Like, I really enjoyed this episode though. I thought this was a very interesting episode. Filled in some backstory for like Wanda, which, we knew the majority of it. We just haven't really seen it before, I guess. But, first of all, I really like how the episode opens up with, in Salem, with Agnes. She's part of, like, this witch, convent or whatever it's called, and apparently, they found out she was doing, like, some very dark magic, so, they were pretty much trying to kill her with magic, but she pretty much, consumes, their life force, I want to say, even her own mother, which... That was pretty terrifying. I'm guessing that's what that Yo Magic episode was, with the kid rotting on the island with, like, the yogurt or whatnot. I'm guessing that's what that was, referring to, because, you see their shriveled up corpse. It looks like something from Indiana Jones or something. I don't know. Kind of cool, though, but, we actually get to see Agnes in, like, her full glory in this episode. We can get to see her costume at the end of the episode, which I think looks pretty cool. Not as cool as I thought it would look, but, I don't know. I still kind of like it, but... So pretty much this episode, Agnes introduces herself more, and Wanda, she's like, so how did you do it, Wanda? And Wanda's like, I have no idea. And we actually find out throughout this episode that, because, she kind of takes her, Agnes kind of takes Wanda back through past memories, which is kind of cool. Let me just say, I love Agnes's magic, because, she straight up does, like, magic spells and all that. There's, like, these magic runes that, keep Wanda from being able to use her powers in Agnes's basement and all that, but... They travel through all Wanda's memories to try to, figure out, or, so Agnes can figure out, what, how Wanda did all this, which, is definitely a flashback episode, but... So pretty much we go back to Sokovia where, it shows that Wanda's family loved watching sitcoms, which, is where all this stuff came from. But, that was like in the 80s. And I think Malcolm in the Middle came out early 2000s. So I don't even know how they had that one. I might be wrong on that. But they had that in this briefcase of all the other sitcoms or whatnot. But... Then we see the bombshell, comes and explodes and kills their parents, and her and Pietro are under the bed, just watching the light blink on the Stark Industry bomb, which, definitely reference to the toaster commercial we saw in the first episode, I believe, but, and we actually learned that, Wanda, I can't tell if they were straight up alluding to this or, like, Agnes was just trying to, like, guess or whatnot, but I'm pretty sure Wanda's had powers all along because, Agnes is like, so what'd you do, use a probability spell or something? Because we see Wanda kind of do something with her hand and, the bomb doesn't go off or whatnot, so maybe Wanda had powers all along. This could introduce the mutants into the MCU being like, oh yeah, Wanda and Pietro always had their powers, it was just that, it was kind of recessive and, the Infinity Stone just kind of brought it out, or, as Agnes says, something about, makes her fruit grow more or whatnot, something like that, but, and then we fast forward to, Wanda at the, Strucker Fortress or whatnot, get experimented on, and, we hear that, any other time a test subject touches the stone, they die, and then we just see Wanda touching and like comes out of the scepter, it like explodes or whatnot. We see the yellow stone inside the mind's inside Loki's scepter, and then we like see this really cool, and I think this is gonna be like a classic image, of Scarlet Witch, like the outline of her with her headdress and all. So that makes me think we're going to get Scarlet Witch's outfit next episode, which I'm really excited for, but. And, we even see that she's watching more sitcoms in the basement of the Strucker facility, which I think is kind of funny or whatnot, but... And then we get to see, the whole part where, Wanda still Vision's body, but, she goes to the sword facility. And one thing I picked up on, I haven't really seen many other picked up on, but, because Wanda's kind of mad because she, she wants Vision's body. She's like, well, I came back and Vision's body wasn't there where, I'll last saw him or whatnot, but she goes there, and one thing I picked up on a lot of people didn't is when Hayward introduces himself to Wanda, he straight just says director Hayward, even though he told Monica he was acting director, which means he's only temporary director, so I do think that's very interesting, so we'll have to see if that goes anywhere, if that's any important, or if that's just, something that, just I accidentally picked up on, I don't know, but And, he shows her Vision's body where they're, like, dismantling it, which is, kind of gruesome, honestly. She just sees his decapitated head or whatnot. She busts through the glass to go down to, say goodbye to him, I guess, because, Hayward's like, yeah, I can't just let you, take Vision's body. He says something about, yeah, we can't just give it to a person that can res him, or, bring him back to life or whatnot. And Hayward's just talking to him like he's just a machine or robot, and Wanda's like, he's not just a machine or robot, he was somebody to me. And it kind of hits you hard. But then also Hayward's like, I can't just let you, bury like $3 billion up worth of vibranium in the ground, which, to be fair, is a fair point. But Hayward's straight up like a villain now. Like, I've never really liked Hayward. He is kind of charismatic, I will say, but but she busts down and, like, says goodbye to Vision and leaves. But, we saw earlier in the season, Hayward edits that video, make it look like Wanda stole Vision's body, which, yeah, he's really turning out to be a dick now. But, and then we also see some flashbacks to after, Age of Ultron, where Pietro died. Wanda somehow, her brother just died. She has no one, and she's in this new country, at the Avengers compound. And, Vision was the only person that was, really there for her, which I think is kind of sweet, and also kind of builds on the stuff we saw, like, in Civil War with Wanda and Vision and all that. So I do think it's very interesting, how they're kind of going back in and filling in some of these plot, or not really plot holes, but kind of missing parts of the plot or whatnot. But, and then we see the whole thing after, Wanda goes to the sword facility, that there's this letter in the car she got from Vision, where Vision bought a house for them in Westview, to retire at, which, is very sweet and heartbreaking, because, when she gets there, the house is, like, tore down or whatnot, and she opens the letter, it says something, 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 love Viz or whatnot, and it has, like, a little heart, which I'm guessing is the reference in episode 1 where there's a heart on the calendar, is what I can guess. But, Wanda goes in the middle of a lot and just straight up breaks down and, like, falls to her knees and, like, explode, like, energy radiating off of her, starts building this house and turns Westview black and white and whatnot. So, that's how Wanda creates the hex, because, such strong emotions or whatnot. And, it is kind of heartbreaking, though. And then we see that Wanda pretty much creates Vision out of nothing. Like, his consciousness just kind of, like, creates a body or whatnot. It's really cool, honestly. Especially that scene, them standing right across from each other, Vision's and black and white, Wanda's, in her clothes. And he's just like, Wanda. Just very sweet. And, that's definitely going to be an iconic part of the show for sure. Kind of like with, Wanda appearing in the Mind Stone or whatnot. But... and then we see Wanda come out of her past memories, or, the memories that we were kind of living through throughout the episode. She comes out of Agnes's basement because, she hears her kids screaming. Agnes is holding, her kids hostage or whatnot, with, like, some of her magic. Wanda's got her powers back, starts powering up, and, Agnes is like, you're pretty much the unicorn of witches. Like, you're not even supposed to exist, really. Like, you got chaos magic, which, from the comics, from what I understand, is, like, magic where, like, it can literally warp reality around it, which is kind of cool. But she's like, you ain't supposed to exist, you're the Scarlet Witch. Like, that's not even a thing. And you can tell that Agnes is definitely terrified from it. But we see Agnes in her full costume, which looks pretty cool. I guess, like, wanted to see a little bit more, like, in action or whatnot, but I can't wait for, Wanda to get, her Scarlet Witch costume, which definitely has to come now. Like, it has to, like, absolutely. But, I feel like next episode is going to be off the hook. I'm really interested to see, what happens to Vision, which, speaking of Vision, the end credit scene is really good, which kind of confirms the fan theory, I guess. But we see Hayward, they're like, oh yeah, our thing's operational now. So pretty much they put back together Vision's body, but it's all white now, which is something from the comics. After Vision died, they brought him back white. It was all white, and he don't really have his humanity to him anymore. But they use that missile or that drone thing that has Wanda's, like, energy radiating from it to bring Vision back, which is interesting because Wanda, kind of her powers were activated, I guess, by the Mind Stone. I guess that's kind of directly, like, putting the Mind Stone back into Vision. But he looks straight up creepy, like, holy crap, him just all white and all that. I just don't like it. It's unsettling, I guess. But that's definitely going to be interesting. So I guess that does bring an outlet for, them to straight up bring Vision back, since it seems like his consciousness is existing in the Hex or whatnot. So maybe, they could put his consciousness back into the, the Vision's body or whatnot. But and, that also could bring back the fan theory that, Ultron, sort of trying, accidentally creates Ultron again, which I think is definitely a high possibility, but we'll have to wait to see where it goes. But I definitely thought it was an interesting end credit scene. But overall, WandaVision, episode 8, previously on, I really enjoyed this episode. I thought, it had a lot of great Easter eggs and all that in it. Definitely brought up some interesting lore, of like the Scarlet Witch and whatnot, which I think is really cool. And I really hope Doctor Strange shows up in the next episode. He probably won't though, but that'd be really cool. But overall, though, I'm probably going to give this episode like a 9.5 out of 10. Like, I really enjoyed this episode, and I cannot wait for next week's episode. Hopefully, next week's episode is like over an hour long. I hope at least, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes, and I'm very interested to see how, the show's going to wrap up or whatnot. Even if it doesn't wrap up, there's probably going to be like a good cliffhanger, probably, so you're going to see the other movies or whatnot. But I kind of hope, there's at least some conclusion to it. But anyway, guys, let me know what you guys thought about this episode down below. Check out my Twitter and Discord, link in the description. Like and subscribe for more. Check out some other videos, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.